And he said he's the company that likely won't succeed, so that means probably buy everything. So, Tim Davidson.
Very tongue-in-cheek. Look, thanks everyone for sticking around. It's always a hard act to follow with Hedley presenting directly in front of you, but I'll give it my best shot. And look, thank you very much to Kerry as well. She's done a great job of pulling together these these Australian gold companies. And look, we feel that it's a fantastic time to have exposure to gold, given the volatility that we're seeing, particularly today, but over the last couple of weeks. And behind that, the inflation, and more importantly, from our perspective, inflation expectations, which are really taking off. So, look, with that, I'll give you the Meeka story. And on the back of Hedley's presentation, I quickly went away and changed that good management team to entrepreneurial management team. But look, in all honesty, I think we've demonstrated that entrepreneurial nature in that we negotiated with Silver Lake Resources, a very large gold miner, ASX-listed gold miner, to purchase their Murchison Gold Project from them, which we did. We completed in February of last year, and then rapidly set about doing the work to put that asset back into production. So I think we've demonstrated that entrepreneurial nature, and leading that or providing guidance for that management team is a very strong and proven board. And you'll notice on the board that we've recently added Paul Chapman to the position of chairman, so a very well regarded and recognised company builder with ASX listed companies. Probably the most prominent of those is Silver Lake Resources, with which he was a founding director and very large shareholder. So fantastic asset for us and for myself as we push forward with our plans to put the Murchison back into production. The other important thing is management and the board collectively have a very large shareholding in the business, so we're very well aligned with the rest of the shareholder cohort in that what we want is to create value. So we've got skin in the game. That's certainly something that we're well aligned with the rest of the group. In terms of the capital structure, we closed on Friday at 5.8 cents. We're a little bit below that today. Gives us a market cap of around $50 million. And given our strong cash position at the end of last quarter, $5.1 million, an EV of around $45 million. And really what underwrites that enterprise value or that market cap is our portfolio of gold assets. So we've got a very strategically located, large 1.1 million ounce gold resource, and Hedley spoke about jurisdiction and location, and we're in a fantastic location in Western Australia. We've got a potential large Tropicana lookalike discovery at our Circle Valley project. Early days, but we're doing a lot of work there, and it's coming up. It's a very exciting opportunity that we're pursuing down there. And on the back of the work that we did at Circle Valley and in that Albany-Fraser region, we've identified vast accumulations of rare earth mineralisation, and that's clay type rare earth mineralisation. Again, location is everything, and this is a tier 1 location, so fantastic opportunity to pursue there. And finally, just in terms of our work with the rare earths, we feel that the value of the business is largely underpinned by that gold resource in the Murchison, and we see it as an almost no risk opportunity to pursue that rare earths. Potentially huge value, but limited downside risk because of the value of the gold assets. Now, the cornerstone asset, if you like, our strategically located Murchison Gold Project, it's an infrastructure-rich environment. It's a tier 1 address in the Murchison Gold Fields. We're right on the Great Northern Highway, so the main arterial that travels through that area. We're close to the regional service centre in Meekatharra. There's sealed airstrip there, so it's a fantastic location in terms of infrastructure. And to the south of Meekatharra is the Bluebird processing plant owned by Westgold. So in terms of existing milling infrastructure in the region, we can tick that box as well. So it's a good location, it's a good address. What are we doing in terms of advancing that project through to production? Well, we released a scoping study in December of last year that outlined a robust 440,000 ounce production plan, about 50,000 ounces a year over 8 years, and that delivers in the order of $180 million of free cash. So if you look at our market cap today, we're sitting at around $50 million. We're going to deliver 3 and a bit worth of free cash flow relative to our market cap. So it's a fantastic opportunity for us. We launched, on the back of that work, we launched into a pre-feasibility study. We're about halfway through that work, and we'll release that in the second half of this calendar year. The key focus for us now as we work on that feasibility study is the exploration and growing the resource there. So we've got a number of key targets which I'll talk to, but that's certainly the focus now, is to grow that resource, extend the mine life, extend the production plan, or expand the production plan. Now, the first part of that resource is Andy Wells. So this was an asset that was in production up until late 2017, materially different gold price. So that was operating in a $1,600 per ounce, Aussie dollar per ounce gold price. We're $1,000 higher than that now, and this is a fantastic asset for us and a very key part of our plan to put the Murchison back into production. 500,000 ounces, very high grade, 8.6 grams per tonne. It's a high confidence mineral resource in that 73% of that is in the measured and indicated classification. So we've got a good understanding of the geology there and the distribution of mineralisation at that project. Now, it's up to 1,000 ounces per vertical metre. We see a lot of those lodes growing at depth. One of the key things that we'll do is drill that out once we're underground. So when we re-access the mine, a lot cheaper and easier to drill from underground rather than trying to drill deep holes from surface. So we think there's growth at Andy Well, but it's something we'll focus on once we're back in and mining there. Key to the mining scenario, 3 of those 5 lodes have never been mined, and that's an important differentiator when you look at re-accessing mines and starting mining again. That has key productivity implications. You're not mining in and around old voids, it's completely virgin ground, so really fantastic opportunity for us, and the existing development provides a platform to kickstart that production. The second part that forms that 1.1 million ounce resource base is our Termbry deposit. Now, this is a large open pit mining opportunity. It's virgin, it's never been mined. We see initially open pit followed by underground. 610,000 ounces. It's again high confidence in that 64 of that open pit resource is in the indicated classification, and up to 2,500 ounces per vertical metre. So it's a fantastic and very much complementary asset to the Andy Well, the existing high-grade Andy Well mine. The strike, 1.5 kilometres, so it's a very big or very large resource, and it remains open at depth and to the north and south. And we see, again, opportunities to grow that resource. The key target for us in terms of our immediate work to build on the 1.1 million ounces that we've got in the ground is to target the shear zone that hosts that Termbry deposit. So it's an Archean greenstone belt. The shear system that runs through Termbry that hosts that 610,000 ounces extends all the way 3.5 kilometres south to St Anne's. And you can see some of the drill results on the slide there from recent focused drilling that we've done at St Anne's. So very broad zones of mineralisation, very much amenable to what we consider, or what we would consider amenable to open pit mining grades. It's shallow, and St Anne's doesn't yet host a resource. We've just started drilling there again for this field season. We expect to get results in the next 2 to 3 weeks from that, and we'll be drilling there over the course of the next 1 to 2 months. So a key part of the plan for us to grow that resource. Now, what you're looking at here is a section through or along that north-south shear corridor between Termbry and St Anne's, and it just highlights the sparsity of drilling as you get to the southern end of Termbry. So where that mineral resource ends, really that reconnaissance style drilling on 50 to 400 metre spacings, it's very lightly drilled, very broad space drilling, but we've intercepted gold there, so it demonstrates the fertility from a gold perspective of that shear system. And really where we've started to focus in and put some closer space drilling, we're getting fantastic results at that St Anne's prospect. So the plan is drill St Anne's, put a resource around it, and then start to close that gap and work our way between, or infill drill between the southern end of Termbry and St Anne's and build the resource up there. Now, outside of the Murchison, but something very complementary in the gold space, is our Circle Valley project, and we released some results this morning and have been drilling there over the last 5 months, getting some fantastic gold results out of Circle Valley. We've got a dominant land position in that Albany-Fraser region. We've kilometre scale gold anomalies at Circle Valley, and then on the back of the work that we've done at Circle Valley, I mentioned this rapidly emerging rare earth story, which I won't talk a lot about today given the focus of this conference, but it's really exciting and potentially very valuable opportunity for us. Now, Circle Valley, we aggressively commenced drilling in January of this year. We've drilled over 18,000 metres of predominantly air core and RC. The air core drilling has defined a number of large gold in soil anomalies, multi-kilometre scale anomalies. They sit coincident with magnetic features that we see in the aeromagnetic data. The RC drilling that we completed earlier this year is the very first drilling into fresh rock that's been completed at this project or in this area. And you can see the first hole that we drilled, 23 metres at 5 grams per tonne. So a fantastic outcome from the very first focused deep drilling at this project. And we certainly see that this has got some exciting opportunity to grow into a large resource. And what we're seeing at Circle Valley is a lot of analogies to what was observed at Tropicana early on in the exploration story there. So we're sitting in that same orogenic belt, the Albany-Fraser orogenic belt. It runs up the southern margin of the Yilgarn. So similarities in the geology there. The deposit at Circle Valley sits underneath a very large gold in soil anomaly. Similar to how Tropicana was discovered, the trace element budgets, all of those metals that are associated with the gold are very similar to what was observed at Tropicana early on. And in terms of what they are, high grades of silver, so up to 10 grams per tonne, rubidium, barium, molybdenum. So all of those were seen at Tropicana. We're starting to tick those boxes here at Circle Valley. The mineralisation, it's hosted in the gneisses. It's in pyrite, biotite pyrite, muscovite shear zones. Sometimes we see potassic alteration with that. Potassium feldspar, and that is all things that were observed early on in the exploration phase of Tropicana. So really exciting opportunity, and importantly, I'll just jump back a slide, the targets in the north, which appear to be much larger than where we're drilling at the moment, or where we've just finished drilling at Anomaly A, they haven't been drill tested. So again, very large gold in soil anomaly, 5 kilometres, BNC and fence line, they stretch 5 kilometres east to west, over a kilometre north to south, so very large, never been tested in fresh rock. Where we've drilled into the fresh rock at Anomaly A, we're getting very good results. So watch this space, that's somewhere we'll be drilling later on this year, and certainly an exciting prospect for us. Now, I'll briefly touch on the rare earth story. This is it's something that we identified through the work we did looking for gold. So you can see on the slide there, all of those white dots are air core drill holes that we did drilling across shear zones looking for the gold at Circle Valley. And what we've observed in that is a very thick clay horizon. We went and reassayed some of those holes that we drilled for gold, reassayed them for rare earths, and it's showing that there's very high-grade clay-type rare earth mineralisation within that clay horizon. We've defined that clay horizon over an area of 83 square kilometres now. We've got 16,000 metres of drilling that's outstanding, that's in the lab getting processed now, that we anticipate getting back over the next 6 to 8 weeks and get that out and announce that on market. The results that we have got today demonstrate that this clay horizon importantly hosts rare earth mineralisation with the right composition of elements. So a high proportion of magnet metals, which are the valuable rare earth elements, and certainly high grades when we compare them to other similar type clay rare earth deposits globally. So a really exciting opportunity for us, and something that I mentioned earlier that we feel we're not valued for in the market. So you're almost getting free exposure to this because of the underlying value of our gold assets. Now, on the back of the work that we did at Circle Valley, we then went and acquired a much larger tenement package. This is the Cascade Project. It's about 50 kilometres southeast of Circle Valley. Now, this has the key things to success with a clay-type rare earth deposit. You've got scale. You can see there we've got the grades. So the grades are up to sort of 5 times the grade we see at Circle Valley. And what we're working through now is the metallurgy. So we've got the scale, we've got the grade. We've just commenced a metallurgical program with ANSTO. That'll be completed in early July and we'll get the results out. So we've ticked the grade, ticked the scale, just need to tick the metallurgy box, and that's something that'll be coming out in the next couple of months, or next couple of weeks, sorry. This is just a typical section from Cascade. Notice the very large vertical exaggeration. That's a section over 7.8 kilometres, just to emphasise what the mineralisation looks. Shallow, broad zones of high-grade rare earth mineralisation. Now, in terms of our forward work plan, so what we intend to spend that cash balance we've got on over the next 12 months, key to that is resource growth in the Murchison, so drilling at at St Anne's, put a resource around St Anne's, and then start to work at Termbry and close that gap between Termbry and St Anne's. Going back to Cascade in the second half of the year with some more regional drilling. That's likely to kick off in late August, early September, and then going up to Circle Valley with some follow-up work for the rare earths and also the gold. Something that's not on there and that's just come up is we're likely to go back on the results that we released for the gold at Circle Valley this morning. We've got sufficient encouragement from that to go back and we're going to do some diamond drilling to understand that shear zone and get a bit more structural information. So that'll be happening in the next sort of 6 to 8 weeks. Now, if I can leave you with 3 key points, the value of the business is largely underpinned by that 1.8 million ounce resource in that strategic gold fields, the Murchison Gold Fields. We're aggressively pursuing resource growth, both in the Murchison and looking to build a resource down at Circle Valley with this Tropicana lookalike. And then finally, the high or potentially high value opportunity in the rare earth space, this future-facing metals, which Hedley mentioned, has got a significant tailwind from both government and the broader investing community to get behind, and that presents huge upside. So thank you very much. We're in booth number 3 if you want to stop by and hear a little bit more about any of the projects. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Ryan Skeen, Managing Director from First AU. Ryan, over to you.